There we go. Game number 4 is just now about to start, so let's see how the players are gonna be doing on Midgard. Second preset map. It's a standard one, but one that has been actually played only once this season, and it was on on a random, so nobody has chosen it. And that's of course the reason why we want to test the clans, if they are able to deal with a map like this. Okay, so the gods on a map are gonna be what? Brighead Thor, Joe, Isis, Shalty, Loki. The Loki, yeah, it's nice to see the appearance of Loki in here. For the opponents, Green Sea Squash, Thor, Omega X Bass, Zeus, and more Oranos. Not that much of a surprise in there overall for them. So how are they gonna be playing? Of course, everybody should be gonna come in for the water. For the right side, or rather for the back side of their waters, and hope there is actually a few fishies in there, because on Midgard you can sometimes get some funny spawns. You can see that apparently on the left. Apparently on the left in there is gonna be at least getting something. Let's wait for the players once they actually discover something, because so far there's not much to talk about before the fishies are getting discovered. On Midgard it's always a bit of a lottery, but so far he's not seen anything, but he should be soon, fairly soon, discover at least on the right or on the left. Let's see how that's gonna be working. It's already a bit more for more, and it should be fairly similar on the top side, so should be really fine. And who is really in the pocket? It's gonna be looking like more in the pocket yet again, as he was on the Merit, whereas here it's gonna be Brighead. That, as a Thor, that's kinda not really that great. It's not like it matters a whole lot, because they're having Loki in there also, and an Isis. But the Isis in the pocket would of course be always be good. But yeah, they're not gonna be getting that luck, and it's gonna be a battle between Omega X Bass as a Zeus and Isis on the other side of the map. It's probably gonna be interesting battle. This dog by Omega is kinda weird. You basically, as you are in the corner, everywhere, or rather every time that you are in a corner on a water map, you just want to produce the dogs somewhere there. You basically place it here or here, just not there, into the side. Just doesn't make all that much of a sense. He's still gonna be having a few fishies that should be basically fine as far as basically carrying him into the classical age, but let's see how it's gonna be working after, because of course already Joe is moving forward, trying to place the dogs somewhere into the middle, and that is looking quite promising for him. That he's gonna be annoying Omega X Bass quite a bit, and this is exactly gonna be just compounding the problem for the teal player, as he will be quite heavily under pressure very soon into the game. I'm expecting by Joe, or very soon. Well, Joe is gonna be advancing later yet again, but still not that many options are gonna be available for Omega X Bass, and maybe even a few fishies there are gonna be stolen by the green player. But in the meantime, as we have seen, the fishies are kinda okay, as we are also looking on the minimap. TCs, how are they positioned? At the back, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. This is actually quite nice for more. He's gonna be protecting the gold. He doesn't need to worry about trading all that much. Same goes for Omega and this gold mine. It's also fairly close to the base. It's actually a very good position and a very good spawn for them. Whereas at the top, for example, Joe, his base gold is safe behind the tree line. That's very nice for him. He's gonna be happy about that. But then the gold is not that far away, but not exactly safe. So maybe that could be a bit of an issue, especially if there's nothing in the darkness. But if I had to bet, there's gonna be at least one gold mine somewhere in the darkness in there, right next to the TC, so I'm thinking he's gonna be fine in the long run. Otherwise, his front TC is funny positioned, as it's more into the middle of the map than basically towards his opponent, so he's gonna be kinda wide open. Same could be said about Omega X Blast. They are just gonna be having a bit of a highway between them without the TC being really any kind of problem. But, well, at the same time, it's still gonna be at least allowing some kind of fun gameplay before some kind of boring booming would be happening. In the meantime, TCs for the other side of the map. Oh, that's funny. You can see that basically the back TC, or rather, this is a front or not? Right now, no, this is Shaltis. This is supposed to be Shaltis front. Okay, now that's a weird spawn. You can see this is supposed to be Shaltis front, so absolutely nothing in the middle of the map. Same goes, it seems, right now for Green Sea Squash. He's basically having both TCs also as the back ones. So this is a funny spawn of Midgard. Basically both on the right flank, they're gonna be open towards each other. As on the left side, and on the left, I'm definitely curious about that one. Because Green Sea Squash against Shelty, it might be quite an explosive duo. of Loki versus Thor, and you can see already how defensively he's building himself up with the temple right next to the TC. Whereas Schulte is not having any kind of thought like that, but Mor is already scouting that. So apparently there's gonna be a double developing on the left against Schulte and Brickhead. So let's see how the players are gonna be able to deal with that on deities of the side. Hermes, Prometheus, Freya for City, yeah, basically normal gods, not that much of a surprise so far coming up. It's fairly standard for everybody. Just kinda maybe interesting that Omega is going for Hermes. Basically telling you that he's not all that interested in shenanigans on water with the restoration or whatever. To be honest, it makes plenty of sense to go ceasefire on any kind of water map. It's always gonna be working. It is always gonna be working, of course. But this is quite late advance. This is quite late advance by Omega. And he's gonna be advancing basically at the same time as Joe, who is coming through Anubis. Oh well, that's fun. Wow, and why is he actually advancing through Anubis? Is he wanting to fight for the water? That might really be the case. Huh, and in that, if that really will happen, then maybe Omega X Blast, even with those extra dogs in there, 1 and 2, might be having quite fun on the water, because with this late advance, I'm really expecting the Egyptian is gonna be such a huge advantage. At such a huge advantage that I don't expect any kind of easy game from him. As apparently Mor, oh well, he's gonna be losing the oracles. So, not any kind of valor on them, which is not good news for him, but at the same time, it could be helping him place the valor exactly on the Murmilos. That's exactly what's right now happening. What's right now going on, and we are already looking at some kind of first army by Schulte going up. And apparently, fights on the water will happen. Sometimes when you are playing Midgard, sometimes they don't happen, and basically the players just leave themselves be and fight only on the land and use the water as some kind of extra bonus. But this time, that's not gonna be happening, and we're gonna be seeing full-on water battle on basically both sides. With the pockets though, quite probably not being really present on the water all that much, as of course Plague of Serpents is being cast by Joe, and oh well, that is actually not a bad placement. Gonna be maybe slightly more into mid to basically also prevent the fishing and whatever, but at this point they probably will be anyway. And this will of course mean quite significant issues for Omega, because this is like some kind of forward base on the water for Joe, and he definitely is quite close by with all the 3 dogs, and he definitely is in a pretty good shape to fight against Omega X Blast, especially since he doesn't have the restoration to help him. At the same battle on the left, Schulte is not exactly winning against Green Sea Squash. It seems that really Green Sea Squash is having a very good game. Very good game indeed. You can see already upgrades for Schulte, so he's hoping he can actually reap benefits of that, rather of that extra water, whereas Green Sea Squash, no thoughts like that. There are... Purusane is researched for more. For Omega, not yet. For Joe, I would be kind of liking that for Joe, because Joe should be quite confident about the water at this point. So that's slightly surprising that he kind of isn't. He really kind of isn't. Whereas, of course, the pocket players are not doing anything all that significant. But, scratch that. Right now I'm looking at the minimap, as we are gonna be looking at the scope while the snake is getting killed. Blue is already sending units forward, and he's already at 2 TCs, which is basically the same as what right now Mor is trying to do, but he might be disrupted. Come on, where are the first horses? Already there, and oh well, already there, literally already there. So maybe there could be a chance with even more horses to get rid of this. But yeah, Murmilos, not a bad unit, especially as a hero against anything mounted, so that is a bit of an issue for Brickhead, and he will probably have to switch somewhere else, because of the Thor. Against Oranos with all of those Murmilos, it's not gonna be that easy. One of the forests are gonna be, well, is gonna be destroyed through the forest fire, whereas on the left the battle is kinda maybe turning. Or at least Schulte is not losing all that significantly as he was a bit before against Green Sea Squash. So apparently, oh, yeah, well, that might be just right now changing. As Schulte wasn't paying attention because he was sending units forward for a bit of raiding, and unfortunately it was exactly at the wrong moment, so he couldn't really see what's going on the water in there all that much. That's definitely unfortunate, but the TC is finished for Mor, that's supremely important for him, and of course all the units from Blue are gonna be finding something to kill, and also trying to build a beachhead right next to the front TC of Mor. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Yeah, to be honest, it seems to be lagging a bit. It really does seem, even though I don't have any kind of shields or whatever. Yeah, it does seem to be lagging even for me. So somebody is probably having some kind of connection issues or whatever. But interestingly enough, in the meantime, second TC is also coming for Omega X Blast. And that seems to be so far it. Yes, it definitely seems. It definitely seems. It's kind of interesting because, of course, you would be expecting that maybe Joe would be the one who will be a bit more comfortable in the game. But so far, I would be guessing it's actually Omega. He's really playing quite nicely today. And he seems to be quite motivated for the RTS League Grand Finals. Well, good numbers, but on both sides, it to be said. So this is basically just gonna be a bit of an impasse, I'm thinking. Whereas on the left, it's looking quite similarly so. So I'm really kind of thinking the battlefields on the waters are gonna be coming down a bit. Joe coming for the front TC, makes plenty of sense for him, and he's having plenty of gold in that. Remember how you were actually thinking if there's any kind of gold behind the bases? Maybe you didn't see it. If there's at least one, he is having three gold mines in that. This is kind of dangerously close to water though, so maybe not that ideal. But I'm definitely liking right now the forward base by Brighead, as he is quite effectively and aggressively going into Green Sea Squash, and oh well, that is huge. That is a huge raid, because that's gonna be resulting into absolutely terrible losses. They are so far away from even any kind of tower, and more is gonna be so late. And if he's gonna be switching into those gold miners, he probably will. At this point, what I would do, I would take at least a few horses, basically as a false bait, and taking them and seeing if maybe more is gonna be falling for it and basically running somewhere. Well, he's gonna be at least maneuvering across, trying to get at least a few more villages. It's gonna be working quite nicely for him, especially if he gets the Ox card, which was kind of the idea, but he just kind of in the long run decided it's not gonna be worth it. He'll be just losing a bit too much for that, and he's gonna be returning a bit later, especially since he's taking a front TC. Front TC from the opponents. Okay, nicely played. Nicely played. As apparently more is gonna be joining into the battle, but not really convincingly. Green Sea Squash finally having Pulse Saint for better fishies. But is it gonna be anything significant? I don't think so, because right now the battle on the land is getting significantly problematic. Green Sea Squash coming for the second TC, at least hoping to get it. As horses are still there and looking for anything else they could be killing, like for example this. Oh well, more definitely will have to be quite careful about what's going to happen in that. In the meantime, of course, Heroic Age for Joe with Nephthys army coming up, and this could be kind of dangerous, because I could imagine attack by Brighead with flaming weapons and supported by Ancestors, and oh well, yet again, Age in the TC that is potentially under attack. Not exactly good idea, but this time he's gonna be getting away with it. Yeah, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine in that. Battle on the right, not going anywhere at all, it seems. Let's check what kind of upgrades are coming up. Bragi for Shelty and for Big Head. Thea for more, we have seen that. Dionysus for X-Blast. Oh, that's fun. Dionysus for X-Blast. That's a good choice, because Underworld Passage, to be honest, on Midgard is not exactly that strong. So I'm really liking the potential for this skill as it's gonna be significantly helping against the Leviathan and any kind of other boats. And you can see he's having even upgraded boats. Heavy cabinets. That's kinda very rare upgrade. That's not what you see all that much. But it means that they are right now having 6/6 attack. And they are getting 50 more hit points. Even more than that, 60. 60 more hit points. God damn it. That's a lot. That's of course gonna be something that right now Omega X Blast is not absolutely ready for. Is there some kind of upgrade? No, just the heavy. But yeah, that should become a kind of massacre. Heavy boats against normal boats, that should be fairly easy. Even through the Juggernaut in there, it should be resulting into a few more hammer ships somewhere, but so far, not happening. And we're gonna be switching into the middle, where Palace is attempted by more, but that's not gonna be finished, because you can see Brighead invoking the flaming weapons with the medium throwing axeman, and actually already having copper weapons on top of that. Green Sea Squash is having nothing, but yeah, ceasefire is gonna be right now forced, which is... Oh, there was an attempt on the TC. There was an attempt on the TC, so I'm kind of thinking it wasn't actually cast because of the flaming weapons, but because of the TC, as it looks all kind of fishy right now. If it wasn't for that, yeah, that would be pretty horrible. And are there gonna be some stealing shenanigans? I don't really see them happening all that much. Just probably Joe is gonna be building a few barracks here and there. Yeah, even Granary for a few more. Actually hunter-gatherers in here. Not an uninteresting choice, as apparently more is interested what's happening somewhere else in the map. Maybe looking at the TC in there, as apparently that's gonna be Mythical Age coming up fairly soon for Shelty, because he's housed. And is he housed like naturally or by some kind of misplay? Sometimes it happens. No, naturally. He's only at 2 TCs and 130 population limit. So he's full. He's going for DC. And maybe could be coming into Mythical Age as well in some reasonable timing. But this is definitely a nice scam for dots. They are having a very good position in there. And apparently, we don't see any kind of yellow on the water anymore, which is just basically a clear sign that that was just a bit of a phase by More, and he's already past it. He's gonna be forced to go into full-on battle in here. Yep, their TC coming up. Ancestors are gonna be used on the TC of Joe, and that's very well nice, very well played. Base building right there by Omega X Blast, because he cannot really get anywhere with the army. He's right now killing at least one of the stables, but with all this and Jason and Odysseus, he might be able to defend against the Ancestors. It's not gonna be that easy. You can see denying the tower at the last second. The very last second. Come on. Send all of that in. That's what this one villager. Is he gonna be the hero? Can you be the hero? Yes, he can. He's gonna be the hero that we needed. Especially KeeN's needed. And, oh well, this is gonna be, of course, adding all the extra fire. Does he have crenellations? No, he doesn't. So he cannot really help all that much as he could against all those elephants, as apparently boulders are coming in, Ragnarok being cast by Gnitsy Squash. And let's see, okay, that's very nicely cast, but unfortunately just a bit too late, as it will be denying the DC, but it's not that much of an issue. Well, denying DC, apparently not, he's gonna be just killing it right off with all the heroes of Ragnarok. And let's see how this is gonna be working, because flaming weapons are present for Gnitsy Squash and for Shelty, but not for Brighead anymore, so it's gonna be up to Shelty to somehow defend. Well enough, and armor, bronze, copper for red, and for blue, where are you having some kind of unit? That is some kind of unit. Just bronze and bronze. Okay, so slightly better for the red player as far as economical units goes. Or rather go. Gnitsy Squash 67, Brigade 75, so the Ragnarok should be stronger for Brigade. And he will be needing plenty of extra assistance. He will be needing to lend plenty of assistance to actually his teammate on the left, which might be coming exactly now. Yes, it is. Oh well, that's gonna be a big one. As Shelty with flame weapons coming forward, he didn't really need to do that because, of course, the ceasefire is already gone. But he's much more important, gonna be blocking flame weapons of the opponent. And if he can kill all the heroes of Ragnarok, or plenty of them at least, in the meantime, that's of course gonna be significant advantage for him, and that's exactly what he wants to do. But Omega X Blast is apparently gonna be giving up, as the battle on the right is going not a great way. It wasn't really that decided. You can see they were still fighting next to the TC. Joe Bass just basically took it down, but it didn't seem like that he would be able to actually put it back up, and that's what resulted into overall GG, because even the Wolfies on top of that are not huge. And the combination and the strong Ragnarok by Brighead, already those 4 TCs having the one stolen in the middle, it just didn't seem like that KeeNs would be able to overcome that back. Well, nice battle, nice performance on basically both fronts, and yet again, aggressive and gutsy gameplay into the middle and into aggression by Dots is gonna be yielding benefits, and they're gonna be forcing a decider on random. Let's check into the post game then. Let's check. It is gonna be Brighead with the high scope, definitely deserved. I really liked how he approached the game, going so aggressively into the mid. That was well done. Well done indeed, and that's exactly what carried Dots has to be set. Well, we're gonna be heading into the decider on random. As military count for Brigade, well, that was just the Ragnarok, so nothing all that huge. And even with the Ragnarok, Gnitsy Squash was just able to get at 89. So yeah, Brigade was having a whole lot better game than Gnitsy Squash. Well, that just happens. Joe, even through basically kind of lacking upgrades in there, he still was able to overcome Omega, which is a bit of a surprise because Omega seemed to be having a good game. But he just couldn't handle the attack in there. And Joe played it better. Yeah, you can see the difference in the army. It was about 85 against about 75, so about 10 units more. And that's a lot in Heroes of Ragnarok. Well done, GG.